Did you just forget because you were busy, or is your brain starting to delete familiar things without any warning? Many people joke, oh, just those senior moments. But sometimes behind that forgetfulness lies an early sign we really shouldn't ignore. Cognitive decline, dementia that is, doesn't just appear overnight. It's quiet, subtle, and starts with the smallest things, like repeating questions, unexplained personality shifts, or familiar tasks suddenly feeling hard. Past 60, if you've felt your memory isn't what it used to be, or noticed a loved one acting a bit off, then this video is a gentle nudge to help you spot it and act in time. In this video, I'll share 5 early signs of cognitive decline and, more importantly, how to slow it down with simple, natural steps you can start doing right away. And if you're thinking, a little forgetfulness is probably fine, this video might help you hold on to your memory and yourself longer than you imagine. If this topic resonates with you, consider sharing it with family or friends around your age. Because a memory saved today is a piece of old age cherished, not lost. Let's dive in. And the first thing that's often missed is forgetting someone familiar's name. Forgetting someone's name might not put you in danger, but when you forget your own name, it's often far too late. From our 60s onward, bouts of forgetfulness tend to show up more often. But one type of forgetting is particularly concerning. Forgetting acquaintance, people you were close to, met often, individuals once familiar in everyday life. Because this isn't just ordinary forgetfulness. It could be an early sign of age-related memory decline, or even early dementia. Our brain stores information in layers: images, sounds, emotions, language. When you still recognize a face but can't recall their name, it suggests the language layer of memory is weakening. And this area is often affected first as the brain ages. This doesn't happen overnight, but if you find yourself doing this repeatedly, especially with relatives, neighbors, old friends, that's when you need to really take notice. Research from the National Institute on Alzheimer's in the U.S. shows forgetting familiar names is one of the earliest, most overlooked signs of mild cognitive impairment, a state that can advance to dementia if not managed promptly. Julia Ramos, 74, from Tucson, Arizona, shared that when she'd go to the market, she often saw an old friend, Helen. But only when Helen spoke first would she realize, it's her. At first, she just thought her brain was a bit slow, but after a checkup, her doctor said she had signs of this impairment. Luckily, she caught it early and was advised on memory exercises, sleep adjustments, and healthy eating. After a few months, she felt sharper, and most importantly, she remembered everyone's names again, like she used to. You don't need to panic, but don't ignore it when your brain sends signals. Omega-3 supplements, enough sleep, and especially daily memory practice, like naming people in old photos, listing friends, or just doing crosswords, are all great ways to strengthen that connection between you and your memory. Because when you still remember someone's name, you hold on to a piece of your heart, your memories, your life story. Don't let cherished names become strangers within your own mind. But sometimes it's not forgetting names. It's repeatedly asking the same thing in a single day. If a loved one starts asking the same question over and over within an hour, don't just laugh it off. That could be a critical brain warning nobody recognizes. What time is it? What day is it today? What was that girl's name again? Questions like these, if they only pop up occasionally, could be due to poor concentration or tiredness. But if you or a loved one start repeating a question the same day, even after getting a clear answer, this might be an early sign of memory decline. Short-term memory is often the first thing affected as the brain ages. When you hear an answer but can't hold on to it for even a few minutes, your brain is sending a subtle yet clear signal. Its ability to process and store new information is struggling. And if this happens many times a week, it's no longer just being old and forgetful. It's time to pay much closer attention. According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, frequent question repetition is a common sign of early-stage mild cognitive impairment, which can lead to dementia if not managed through lifestyle changes, better brain activity, and improved sleep and diet. Richard Lane, 76, from Sacramento, California, once baffled his wife by constantly asking, "Are we having dinner with Linda today?" even though she'd answered him 3 times in just 1 hour. After a few weeks of this, they decided to see a doctor. The doctor confirmed he had signs of short-term memory loss, but thanks to early detection, he started a new routine. Less sugar, daily walks, and Sudoku each morning. The repetitive questioning gradually decreased, and his memory stabilized after 3 months. You don't need to panic if this happens, but don't take it lightly either. A small notebook for daily jottings, a clearly posted calendar, or phone reminders can help the brain retain information better. And don't hesitate to talk to a doctor, because early detection is always key to preserving long-term memory. Because memory, once it's gone, is very hard to bring back. But if you pay attention from the very first repeated questions, you still have time to slow that process down. Much like repeating questions, another sign often overlooked is when someone starts fumbling with everyday tasks they once knew well. If you've cooked a dish for 20 years, but today you're unsure when to add the flour, don't just blame age. That could be an alarm. Your brain is forgetting itself. We all have daily routines we do almost on autopilot, making morning coffee, buttoning a shirt, finding our usual TV channel. But if one day you pick up the remote and can't remember which button to press, or stand in the kitchen unsure how to start making fried eggs, that's when you should pause and listen to your memory. Struggling with familiar actions is a quiet but serious sign that the brain areas controlling long-term memory and coordinated actions are affected. Neurologists see this as a turning point from normal age-related forgetfulness to distinct cognitive decline, which, if not caught early, can lead to dementia. According to the U.S. Alzheimer's Association, over 50% of people diagnosed with early-stage dementia described forgetting how to do things I'd done for years, from using the washing machine or oven to writing checks or scheduling doctor's appointments. And heartbreakingly, the person themselves often doesn't know why they're forgetting. Marlene Porter, 75, from Fort Worth, Texas, made banana bread almost weekly for over 20 years. But one day she forgot to mix the flour with eggs, a simple step she'd never missed. At first, she thought it was tiredness, but when she kept struggling with simple tasks like opening emails, she saw her doctor. The doctor diagnosed her with signs of MCI, mild cognitive impairment. Luckily, with early recognition, she received cognitive therapy, an anti-inflammatory diet, and brain-stimulating activities like learning basic chess. After a few months, she confidently returned to her kitchen. You can start small. Write down the steps for common tasks, or talk to loved ones if you're finding things difficult. Don't hide it. Sharing early gives you a better chance to maintain independence and control. Because when you can still do familiar things, you hold on to a part of who you are, and that's worth protecting, starting with these seemingly tiny signs. If you're still watching and finding this helpful, maybe drop a 3 in the comments so I know. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why not hit that subscribe button and the bell so you don't miss out on new videos? Your support really helps us keep making more useful and inspiring content. And it's not just memory or habits that are affected. Sometimes mood changes are the first thing loved ones notice that signals something's off. An older person isn't getting angry at their family, they're angry with their own brain, without realizing it. People often think dementia is only about forgetting names, getting lost, or dropping familiar items. But there's a subtler sign few notice: sudden, unexplained mood shifts. Someone once gentle suddenly becomes irritable. A cheerful person withdraws into silence. These changes, if they persist, can reflect changes happening in the brain. The brain's emotion control centers, the frontal and temporal lobes, are also areas affected early as neurological aging begins. When these areas weaken, older adults might overreact to small things, become anxious without cause, or fall into unexplained silences. And worryingly, these psychological shifts are often mistaken for old age grumpiness, causing us to miss early chances to detect memory decline. A Johns Hopkins University study found over 60% of people diagnosed with dementia had shown mood disorder symptoms years earlier, like unusual anxiety, irritability, or losing interest in favorite activities. This is an early warning, sometimes clearer than forgetting names or repeating questions. Gerald White, 78 from Boise, Idaho, used to love gardening, but lately he'd often snap at his grandson over harmless questions. His wife noticed he no longer wanted to tend his plants and would often sit silently for hours. Initially, the family thought he was down about getting older, but after a routine checkup, doctors diagnosed early-stage dementia. Thanks to timely recognition, his medication was adjusted. He joined a community group and learned gentle morning meditation. After a few months, he was the old Gerald again, calm, cheerful, and engaged in life. You can also watch yourself or loved ones. If mood changes without clear reason, see it as a sign to listen, not to panic, but to act. Because holding on to memory isn't just about facts. It's also about preserving emotions, personality, and the person loved ones cherish. And luckily, there are simple things you can do daily to protect your brain, starting with something seemingly small: walking. If you skip 30 minutes of walking daily, your brain might be slowly shrinking without you even realizing. Past 60, some opt for more rest, some avoid exercise, fearing fatigue or joint pain. But modern research widely agrees light exercise, especially daily walking, can markedly slow dementia's progression without complex drugs or fancy gym gear. When you walk, more blood pumps to your brain. Oxygen and nutrients reach the hippocampus, the memory center, helping it maintain size and stable function. Walking also boosts dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that keep spirits up, mind sharp, and reduce confusion or disorientation common in older adults. Research from the University of Pittsburgh shows seniors walking at least 30 minutes daily experience 47% slower brain atrophy than less active groups. And crucially, this benefit isn't about speed or intensity. It's about daily regularity and persistence. Dorothy Stevens, 83 from Eugene, Oregon, used to be forgetful and easily overwhelmed in crowds. Her daughter suggested she try morning walks in a nearby park. She started with 10 minutes, gradually increasing to 30. After just 1 month, not only was her memory better, but her mood improved noticeably. "I don't feel that mental fog anymore," she shared, "and I feel like I'm getting back to myself." You don't need to go far or buy expensive sportswear. Just comfortable shoes, a familiar path, and 15 to 30 minutes daily. Maybe early morning with gentle sun or late afternoon with a cool breeze. The key is to keep stepping, because each step reminds you memory isn't lost in a day nor saved by magic. It's protected step by your own proactive efforts starting today. Some things, when we remember them, we take for granted: a loved one's name, a familiar meal, the way home. But when forgetting starts, you don't just forget tasks, you forget a part of yourself. Dementia doesn't happen overnight, and you don't need to wait until it's too late to make changes. Just notice things a bit sooner, rest a bit better, and walk each morning, even for just 10 minutes. You're saving memories for tomorrow. Remember, keeping your memory is like tending a small plant. Not much, just regularly and with enough care to nurture it daily. If this video made you reflect or think of a loved one starting to forget, consider sharing it with them or leave a comment below. You might just help someone hold on to a piece of themselves. Thanks for staying with me until the very end. May you keep your memories, not just for tasks, but to always live fully with what once made your heart truly sing.